All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Danielle Lee, founder of hashtag It Didn't Crush Me and Momentum Integrative Health Solutions. After losing everything I thought made me strong, I stopped bouncing back and started building better. This show is where emotional health meets inflammation science and where high functioning humans come to take back their power in body, in business, and in life. We test, don't guess, we heal, not hustle, and we create next level health for next level living. So let's get right into it because it didn't crush me. So, hi, everybody. I am so excited because I was talking with a friend of mine this morning and she's like, I cannot tell you how amazing I feel. And I'm like, what, girl? Like, you just started this stuff like hot second ago. Um, and so I'm really excited to be here with yet another former another pharmaceutical industry veteran. And we go way back to college. So it's one of my
Not that far
longest.
back.
No, that's right. It was just a few months ago, right? Um, One of my longest friends, and I love seeing people have really incredible results, right? I mean, my experience with peptides started the wrong way, right? Because I was also in the bucket of these must be so bad for you. And so what did I do? I snuck one of my husband's auto injectors and I just started at like, the fifth highest dose, something that no medical professional would ever recommend, nor did anyone actually prescribe me. But I wouldn't say I was desperate, but I certainly wanted to try it because I'd worked so hard on so many things. I'd burned for this life, and I was just tired of having to do it the hard way. Because at some point, I really thought like there was some trophy waiting for me at the end of like, I don't know, some struggle, like if I just did it the natural way. Well, you know what? I did it so many stinking times the natural way, and this time it wasn't happening so easy. And I didn't want to continue to kill myself all the time. I was really looking for my body to just stop fighting me. So I was kind of desperate, and I did the thing that I would tell nobody to ever do. But I had a really great experience, and that prompted me to go about it by learning about what safe dosing is if you're on a GLP-1, because that is a peptide. Learn about the nutritional support that you need so that your body doesn't lose collagen, doesn't lose a lot of muscle, and that you really slim down and tone down in a natural looking and healthy way. But we're not here to talk today about GLP-1s, although that tends to be like the gateway peptide. We're here to truly talk about regenerative health and that next level life through the use of peptides. And so, what is a peptide, everybody? A peptide is simply a little messenger that tells your body to do something specific. It tells your body to regulate blood sugar. It tells your body whether you're hungry. It tells your body whether you need to reduce inflammation. It tells your body if you need to produce more growth hormone. It tells your body all these different things. There's a different peptide for everything. And so little chains of amino acids make up peptides. If you have more than 50, they turn into proteins. It's really that basic and that's simple. And so there's a lot of people nervous and afraid about it. But what I really want to focus on is Sharon's story. So again, she's a veteran in the pharmaceutical world. We go back to college, and I'm just going to kind of let her tell you what prompted her to look to these peptides and what that experience that's been so incredible looks, feels, and sounds like for her.
All right. So, a little bit about my journey and how I got to the peptide world is that I actually suffer from psoriatic arthritis. And for me, it didn't necessarily show up in the skin, but it showed up in the joints, it showed up in the entheses, and it showed up as in like dactylitis, like swollen fingers, swollen toes. Everything hurt, everything was painful. And about a year and a half ago, I got an actual diagnosis and got on a biologic, and it changed my life. I started to get it back, but then I plateaued. So, where you're feeling good, but you're not feeling great. Like in the mornings, I was just so stiff and I was so swollen, and I was still up 3 sizes that I had never been. I never struggled with my weight my whole life. And I just couldn't lose the weight. I couldn't lose the puffiness, and the brain fog was real. Fatigue is real with psoriatic arthritis. And I'm not talking like, oh, I need a nap. I was thinking like, how can I close my eyes and sleep in my car for 10 minutes before I go to my next account? Like it was real. And that's when I first heard about NAD plus. So I took that in heavy, high doses, and it worked wonders. And then I found out about LEMD. So of course I was like, I absolutely need to get back on this NAD plus. It was game changer when I was on it. And I break my dosing up 3 times a week. So I
But
have just
but didn't you
more.
have to go and sit for like a injection for like a long period of time?
So there was an injection option or an infusion option, and I just couldn't do the infusions. I believe the NAD plus infusions were 4 hours, and that is just my day, right? So between, working and children and everything else you have going on, nobody has time to sit in a chair for 4 hours. So the LAND with NAD Plus was perfect because I can administer it at my house. I can break it up into 3 times a week, and it's just enough to get one, the brain fog cleared, but two, for me, when it comes to the fatigue, I just don't have that crash anymore. Like I have tired days. Everybody has tired days, right? We're all running crazy. But it's the constant, like, as soon as I wake up, when am I going to get my next nap? That's not there anymore. And then I met with Danielle and we started talking just about all the other peptides that were available. And the more I researched, I started looking into the BPC TB1. And that one specifically because it targeted inflammation, it talked about ligaments, it talked about healing because I still am swollen with inflammation. It's not, I don't know how to explain it other than everything is still puffy. Like I had my wedding ring stretched 2 sizes. I'm back down like a size, but like even in my fingers, like it's puffy. And I don't live in a humid climate. So it's not the humidity. I live in the desert. And so I just finished my fifth injection. So the BPC you do 3 times a week. And I just finished my second dose yesterday. And I will say that I am down already 4 pounds, but it's 4 pounds of inflammation. Like my skin lays differently. I move differently. In the morning when I get up, that stiffness that I have in my feet, I used to get plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis. Those entheses were always so swollen and so inflamed and so tight that I would say now I'm maybe 5 steps and it's gone, where it used to be like 12 hours and maybe it would be better. So it is massively just changing the way I feel, the way I move, and getting rid of just everything that my body has been fighting when it comes to those inflammation receptors.
And
I
that's
love it.
incredible. That's absolutely incredible because again, when you said you just finished your second dose, actually your second week.
Yes.
So it's been 2 weeks. And that's what I tell people, right? Like when you're dealing with prescription injectable peptides, like this stuff works and this stuff works fast. It's literally because I told you earlier how our body naturally makes peptides. We just typically make less and less as we get older. We make a lot less NAD, which is actually a coenzyme, not technically a peptide. We make less growth hormone. We make less GLP-1. We make all just less as we age. That's part of getting older. And so your body knows exactly what to do when you reintroduce a peptide. And I always say it's like that reunion with your girlfriends that you haven't seen in like 3 years. And like everybody's at the house and you're like the last one to get there. Like you're the peptide walking through the door and everyone's like, oh my God, right? And like the party starts and everybody's really happy. Like you pick up exactly where you left off. Like that's literally what happens when your body gets an injectable pharmaceutical prescription strength peptide. Your body knows where it goes and they knows what to do with it. It's not like with a stem cell where you have to hope like, is this going to do what it's supposed to? Like everyone is just legit praying if you can get a stem cell transplant that it's going to go to the place that you need. That's just not the case here. It's very dialed into exactly where it needs to go. And I just had I never expected Sharon to call me this morning with like, you've got to hear how I feel on this BPC. This is amazing. I didn't even know she ordered the BPC. I could see that she placed an order, but because of HIPAA, we don't know what people order unless they want to come back and tell us. And so I was really grateful that she did. I mean, this is truly a game changer because autoimmune is your RA and
Yes.
you're taking a biologic and
Yep.
it has severely affected your life. So last time she and I we talked on Zoom, it was about 4 or 6 weeks ago, maybe. Your face is so less puffy.
Oh, like everything just lays different from my arms, my shoulders. You can see tone now. It just lays different. Like there's not that, I don't like retention of inflammation, but it was almost like when you swell when you go to a really humid climate, but nothing would go away. And it's just literally like second day, I was like, oh, I feel different. Like things are feeling different. And then I weigh myself every day anyways, but I was like, oh, like my body is actually losing something. This is changing. So it wasn't just even like a mentally, I feel like I'm seeing in numbers too. But yeah, in my face, in my hands, like my fingers are skinny again. They were so swollen. You know, they call them like sausage digits. Like your fingers get like sausages, they hurt.
And I got to be honest, so anybody who knows you and to kind of describe you to people who don't know you, you are like when I think of you, you are the epitome of like excitement, adventure, vitality, enthusiasm. Like this woman lives life like nobody I've ever seen. She's
That's me
always
in
having,
Dubai, jumping off a building.
right. Like, and this is just a normal everyday. Like how many countries have you been to?
Uh, 34, I think.
I mean, like vivacious. Like when you think like hashtag life goals, like it's what Sharon has built in her life. And then all of a sudden I'm talking to her and she's dealing with this autoimmune crap. And she, again, has always been teeny. She, like, weight has never been an issue for you. You're active, you're healthy, you're health conscious. But when I saw you puffy this summer and more inflamed, I'm like, girl, what is been going on? I had no idea you'd been dealing with it.
Yeah, it literally not only does it like not feel amazing, it mentally feels terrible. You start trying to figure out what do you not have to do today, or even like traveling because we were still traveling, right? But there were certain excursions where I was like, that's a hard no. Like I will never make that, especially at the pain in my feet, right? Because you're walking. So to have pain in your feet, the Achilles tendonitis, the plantar fasciitis, like the ligaments just so tight and so inflamed. It's brutal because it's all day, every day. It doesn't go away. And I was even telling Danielle, this is kind of a little joke, but it actually has been raining just a little bit here in Vegas for like the last 3 days. And that's always been my test of if something works, right? Because I could tell you if it was going to rain 2 days before because my joints, my hips, my everything hurt. And I do have, some arthritis as well from like injuries in my past, but I didn't hurt this week the way I would usually hurt if it's going to rain. So it's working. I feel great. I feel like if anybody has like inflammation or those really tight ligaments that they're dealing with, this is a great option. It's just that additional booster to get the body moving again. I guess I feel like I have well-oiled joints, if that makes sense, because everything moves around them now.
I think that's amazing, right? And I think that's why, like this part, so this is the Wolverine stack for anybody who's wondering. This is BPC 157 / TB500. It's nicknamed the Wolverine stack because people like Jeremy Renner, who got run over by the cat snowplow and should have been dead, but luckily he wasn't. He healed so quickly by many, alternative health therapies, but also with a massive amount of peptides, the Wolverine stack being one. Also, Aaron Rodgers, the football player with his torn Achilles, he was back in 6 months, and that's a really tough injury to come back from. It's excruciatingly painful. My husband actually ripped his Achilles mowing the lawn years ago. He's like, it's not even a good story. But again, we didn't know that these things existed, but Hollywood has known about them. NASA astronauts have been using them, pro athletes have been using them, and they're safe and they're effective. It's just that they've been used in the pharmaceutical industry in some concoction of something else for something else. And thank God our compounding industry has been able to pull them out and use them for other things that really truly help your body. And they're very, very safe to do. So it's why chiropractic loves these medicines, these peptides. It's why your med spas are using them all the time. And it's another reason why your top orthopedic surgeons always have a peptide post-surgical protocol in for your healing and recovery because it just helps you recover much better, much faster, and it helps your PT go a lot better. So that's not medical advice. That's just facts of what is going on in the world of peptides and how best they are used to support the body. Sharon, what has been, so I kind of want to share, like, it was kind of difficult for you to figure out where to get peptides, right? Like that's often the problem. Like we hear about them, but how do we go about finding them? So, what did you experience before you knew about this telehealth platform with LEMD?
Well, so my initial like high loading dose that I had taken, I did take through my provider. She was able to do it in the office, and she was the one that said it was either an infusion or like a sub-Q injection, which I took that. I did just have to stay 20 minutes because it was such a high dose. Because sometimes with the NAD plus you flush. You can also sometimes feel like it's hard to swallow. It's not like it's nothing that I don't know, but there are some things that they need to monitor, right? Just to make sure that you can tolerate such a high dose. So I did my 6 weeks of the high dose. And then unfortunately, my provider changed states. So that's kind of then where I was left. And now what do I do? Like I'm finally feeling better. I went through this high dose, the brain fog is gone, the fatigue is gone, and now I have nothing. Um, and I was talking to some friends. I think we have a few clinics out here that have the peptides, but those providers are looking at like 3 months wait just to get in. And I was just like, I don't want to wait another 3 months. Like, what do I do? And I came across actually, Danielle, I came across your one of your Instagram stories. And I was like, wait, she's got the peptides. I wonder if she has NAD plus. And we kind of talked about the NAD plus prior to. And as soon as she did, I was like, I'm on. I need that. Like, I need that 2 weeks ago. Sign me up. How do I get it? And then that's when the door kind of opened to all the other peptide options that also addressed inflammation for me, because that's my number one priority. Um, and I was just like, oh, I definitely should try both of these because I know how the NAD works. I know that I can tolerate it. I know how it makes me feel. But why not try an additional combination and see if I can give myself one more boost? But yeah, it's not incredibly easy out here to get that I'm aware of. However, where I go to out here is probably very limited and very routine. So I'm not in new clinics or med spas or whatever. You know, I'm at a lot of extracurricular activities and they're definitely not talking peptides. Although, however, I feel like a lot of the moms are. But we're all kind of in the same boat of then, well, then where do you get it? So to have such a safe platform and be able to run like, you know, your reasons for it and is it right for you with a licensed provider is awesome. And also that it's over the phone. So I've talked about a crazy busy schedule. I don't have time to go into a clinic for myself for an hour appointment, you know. So for me to be able to schedule it, I did mine actually on the weekend, and had the call with the provider on the weekend. So it was perfect. It matched my schedule wonderfully. And then I was ready to go.
I think that's awesome. And I think, just you brought up peptide safety. And I do want to caution people, right? There's a ton of websites out there where you can order this stuff. It's called research grade only. And I'm telling you, just do not mess with it. It is not safe for human consumption if you read the fine print. And it's usually not only in fine print, but some of the websites are hiding it. It says this is only for in vitro studies. That means they're studying things in a petri dish or potentially using rats. If you're not a rat, if you don't live in a petri dish, you shouldn't put it in your body. Like it's that simple. But within the compounding industry, and this is something that the average person wouldn't know, and many of your doctors don't know this either, because again, doctors are supposed to know body systems. They are not trained on manufacturing of the pharmaceutical world, manufacturing of the pharmacy, compounding world, or distribution or regulation or anything like that. They have to assume that if it comes from a compounding pharmacy that it is safe. Well, there's different levels of quality of product, and it is not uncommon to find that many compounding pharmacies can use different formulations within a basic regulation, and it's still legal and it's still technically safe, but it's way less potent. And so you get a guarantee with LEMD that we only use NABP accredited pharmacies. What that means is our pharmacies that we partner with, and there's not a whole lot because this is an added expense for the pharmacy to invest in because they have to go through rigorous testing and protocols and demonstrate that their potency and their purity matches what it's supposed to be consistently. So it's not uncommon for someone to use a product from a med spa or a doctor or somewhere else, and they switch over to our telehealth platform because it is so convenient. And they say, oh my gosh, I'm getting a result that I never got before, or this, I feel so much better. Like it's because we ensure that that potency is there because of the NABP certification. So I really wanted to highlight that because our platform is regular, it is set up so that you can get it conveniently, but our doctors know exactly what the exclusionary criteria and what your medical necessity for these products would be. And there's very little exclusionary criteria because they are so helpful and so beneficial. This is truly next level health. This is regenerative medicine. This is health. This is vitality. That's what I want you to think about when you're thinking of injectable prescription peptides. Anything else you would tell to somebody who's been kind of on the fence saying, I don't know if I'm going to do this yet. I'm not real sure. What would you tell them, Sharon?
I think I would just say sitting around and waiting to get better or to feel better or doing things the same way you've been doing them for 5 years and hoping that the result is different when you have an opportunity with something like this just doesn't make any sense. It makes sense to jump all in, like go 2 feet first because you have a great platform with the quality controlled products like Danielle just talked about. So you know that you're getting the right amount of product. It's a quality product. It's not being diluted or falling in this range where you may get results 1 month and then you're not going to get them the next. You have a telehealth provider that's willing to walk you through the steps and just the network of people that you have that come with it. We're obviously not the only ones that were curious and wanted to try, right? I think there's a lot of people out there that want to. I think the hesitation is it is still scary because we just don't know. And this platform isn't scary because you have answers to all of your questions. So I would say if there's anything holding you back, reach out, ask, put questions in, the chats, see if anybody else has the experience, and definitely run with it. There's no better day than today.
I love that. I absolutely love it. And so I think we're going to wrap up there. So anybody, if this hit or if this, hit home with you, please share this. Share it with somebody who's been through hell and is done playing small. Don't forget to subscribe, to follow, drop replay in the comments if you're joining us at the replay, or tap in with me on socials. You can send me a message because I'm here to make sure that you never forget you're not broken, you're becoming. And this is just the beginning because it didn't crush me and it's not going to crush you either.